I say entrepreneurship is like faith. You know, faith is substance of things hoped for, an evidence of things not seen.
I honestly think I have what it takes to be successful. Not only being successful, but I believe that I have what it takes to build a very strong company, a brand that survives even when I have left.
Because my kids lives in Canada, they ask, what do you do in Africa? So they think Africa is, Lion King, it's a jungle. So they were amazed to say, what do you do in Africa, Dad? So I say computer. I say, no, computer with the lions?
So entrepreneurship is that you create these things in your mind, you can't touch them. They're just ideas in your mind, and you hope and believe that they'll become things.
Startup, for me, I understand, it's where you want to start up a business. You come up with a plan, an idea, maybe where you want to have your business and what you want to do.
So startup is like when you are starting your business or any idea that you have and you want to put it in practical way.
Startup is a businesses that are just being invented, or someone has just found an interest in a particular product and they want to introduce it into the market.
The quality of a good startup, one, it's maybe you have an idea. You cannot just start up a business without an idea.
Definitely you have to address a particular need. You have identified your market and you've seen a niche, so you have to bring into your startup to fill that gap.
The startup phase is when you have dreamt of an idea to be able to solve a certain solution in the community. You bootstrap the process, and then you get to the point where you have a viable product or viable service that you're showing to people. Could be the first 3 to 4 years of your work, right, where people don't know you yet. But once you're making an impact in the lives of people, you're solving a specific problem. That, for me, it's just the beginning, is a startup, right? And then, of course, you go to the point where you've done this for several years. You're seemingly successful, and therefore people are asking for your service, or you're bringing in new products.
Yeah, I'm good.
3, 2, 1, go.
Now let me be serious. My name is Ronald Hakiza, and I am a co-founder at yugabus.com. I am 27 years of age, of course making 28 very soon, and I come from Kisoro. I'm single, I'm not yet married. I work at Yugabus, and Yugabus is an online bus ticketing company. So we offer travelers or anyone who is traveling by bus a web and mobile application to book any bus to travel anywhere across East Africa.
My name is Eunice Mainamburu, the CEO and founder of BSmart Insurance. BSmart is an online integrated insurance platform that enables customers to choose the right insurance for themselves. This is through comparing from multiple insurance companies.
My name is Kimenyi Mabre, and I'm CEO of Algorithm. And we produce software, and which called Ishiga software. We are in an information era where when you know, you are more rich than someone who doesn't know. We produce software, and which called Ishiga software. Ishiga was created 10 years ago. Starting in Canada, I was working in a night shop where they was using a software. Then I was impressed how they do their reports easily, how my bosses, my managers can see everything without even being there. The problem pharmacists was facing before we came in is the administrative work, let's call it like that. In a pharmacy, they have to manage insurances prices. We have like 18 insurances. Everyone is dropping his prices. They have drugs. Drugs, they expire. They are not like other goods. And when it expired, you can't give to someone. Every pharmacy was isolated, every warehouses. So there was no way these people can see their data in one master data. So we created Ishiga Live, which was taking all this data. So all this headache, we try to resolve them inside our software, putting them in the cloud. So if you are anywhere, you can come and view your data. You can make one giant supermarket because you are inside, but to make a chain of pharmacies or supermarket, we need software to manage all the data, to know everything everywhere, every time, so you can control the finance, the stock, the inventory. So we are working with hotels and bars. So waiters use this tablet, and they can order in front of you. They can order your goods, what you want. Then it goes directly in the kitchen. Then they can start preparing it, or drinks. There is a mentality. So this is a challenge which we will be facing soon. It's the mentality of African business or governments, where they don't trust like African solutions, especially in software. Challenges faced was two. One was to find skilled people, and the second was to find big contract which can sustain our company. We trained 20 to 40 students from undergraduate. We give them the way how to code in industry. So from there we take 5 top. So this fixed the problem of skills. How I'm different is when I started the company, I used to do things myself. Now, everything is not connected to me. The business has to run without me. Nothing is magic here. Everyone who arrives somewhere is working day and night. You sleep when you have to sleep. To do it outside funding, it's a family like spirit. You do with what you have. So you try using, like even Steve Jobs or this big, like Mark Zuckerberg, all started in garage. So all you need is really to find this garage and try to do this small stuff.
For money to come in, we had to allocate ourselves responsibilities. I was in charge of marketing. My colleague was in charge of growth and managing developers. So when we allocated each other responsibilities, then we moved to finding the resources to make sure this company works. Because when we are just starting, there's no profit being made. You get it? And then that is when someone walks up to me, and who could be my aunt, and says, you know what, I will support with some startup. You get it? Some little money. And then from there, everything else starts falling into place when the business has taken shape. You get it? Yeah. By taking shape, I mean when you can wake up one morning and be sure that at least even if I am not there, someone traveling to Nairobi, to Kisoro, to Kigali, to Juba will be able to still get served.
I would have started more leaner.
Lean startup means is that you are looking at your processes, right? And you are trying to cut off some things that you think are not really needed at the moment. Do you get it? So for example, if you look at your financial model, what do you think you could spend on that particular product? Select a particular target market, Look at actually what you actually need to be able to bring that product and then build upon as time goes on. You want to learn faster. You want to pivot faster than anybody. So it's, and that relates to failure. You have to fail sometimes. Do you get it? Because as you are trying to learn, you want to fail and see how it works, whether it works or it doesn't work. So when you fail with that, it tells you that, okay, this didn't work. You try the next one, you pivot. And then that is what lean startup means.
So we advise young people, startups, start lean, start small. Start small, but knowing where you want to go. The moment the business keep on growing, keep on filling the core strategic areas and the core positions for your business.
You know, we started big, whereby even the amount we were paying the staff, our expenses were quite high. So I would lower the cost of running the business, start small, you know, designing with customers one by one without thinking of before scaling. When I got into insurance, I discovered there's a lot of friction between insurance companies, insurance agents, and customers. And every day I kept asking, why, how can we reduce this friction? Because customers would complain. I get to know that I was not covered when there's a claim. And the insurance, from their point of view, they have given all the information through a policy document. So I needed to understand what is the real problem. Most of the young people have their income is not consistent. So how do we enable them accept insurance as a risk mitigation solution to their financial issues? And also, how can they access it hassle-free, conveniently, and at the comfort of their mobile phone?
Someone hit my vehicle, and the process was so long and tiresome because we kept calling the office, and it took like over 1 month to get the vehicle repaired, yet we were on comprehensive cover. So we felt that it would have been faster had we had someone who is assisting us with all the customer care process and all that stuff. Working with BSmart, I think I've loved their services. I don't get to deal directly with the insurance company. I deal directly with BSmart, which makes my work so easy because I just need to sit back and they'll handle everything else. Like I really don't need to walk into an office and get the insurance there and all that stuff. And just a click away, so to speak. We're in the digital era. We are in the 21st century, and things can be done in a better way. Things can be done in an easier way. So you find that if we have the startups that are bridging the gap, then it just works out very perfectly for the rest of us here.
The problem we are solving is actually in the insurance sector. The penetration of insurance in Kenya is very low. And actually in Africa, apart from South Africa, most of the African countries, the insurance penetration is very low. Now, when you look at the demography of Africa, we have a very young population. You know, median age, 19 years old. And the insurance has been selling the same old products, the same way, same distribution channels, but then it means they cannot access the current customer. My lifestyle has changed. It has become simpler and easier. You see, when you're employed, you're a bit extravagant because you see, you know that every month there'll be more money, and so you can spend as much as you can because there's more money coming. And of course, the things that drives you when you're employed are different from what drives you when you're an entrepreneur. When I was quitting my job, I thought that when you quit job, you need a big office, many employees, so that then that's a measure of success. Look at today, I think different. It's how lean can I scale my business? How can I scale my business without increasing my costs? So those are the things that I look at. And one of my biggest challenges was the funding. When I was quitting my job, I had estimated that my savings would last me for 2 years. And before the end of the year one, the finances were over. Yeah. The other challenge was, you start this journey, you need a team, you need people who will believe in this dream, not because you're paying them a lot of money, but because they are here, they believe in your vision. Having people come online just because we have talked about it and buy through our platform, and counting them to now over 700 of them, for me it's a big deal. It's quite a big success. And in 10, 15 years, we hope to have democratized insurance. When I say democratization of insurance, whereby it's an open market that anyone can get in and get, whatever products they want. And how we do that is that we're building an infrastructure that will be able to connect customers and insurance companies and existing African social groups and institutions to all be able to pull their risk together. Our expenses were quite high, so I would lower the cost of running the business. Start small and with the customers, designing with customers one by one without thinking of before scaling. I think the first one was to quit my job. That was very important. There is no worse decision. Yes, because even that decision has really taught us a lot. So I would say, for me, it's not about whether the decision is good or bad. It is a decision has to be made at the time it needs to be made. My mantra is, whether it is right or wrong, make the decision. You will learn the lessons as you progress.
From around the world, let's go!
Hello, welcome to Straight Talk Africa, live from the Voice of America headquarters here in Washington. I am Shaka Sali. Straight Talk Africa, we call it like it is. We discuss issues that reflect the interests of our audience without fear or favor. We are guided by facts, and I look at myself as a servant of nothing but the truth.
I was supposed to travel to Kisau for burial, and I spent the day very busy. I couldn't go to the bus park to book a bus and then come back to do whatever I'm doing, and then go back to the bus park. So in the evening when I'm going to travel and I really want to book a bus, I find that they are full. So while I'm there, a gentleman walks up to me and says, "Hey, if you really want to travel, then I have a ticket for you. I want you to travel, but I'm not traveling, so if you can add 10,000 shillings, I can give you this ticket." I'm like, okay, I'll add the 10,000 and get the ticket. And then I get onto the bus. Now when time for inspection comes, like when you're in a bus, they always inspect to see if you have a ticket. The guy inspecting tells me I have a fake ticket, and therefore I need to get off the bus or I need to pay for the ticket, for another ticket. Now that was the time when I was just done with university and I was broke and the money I was going to pay was the money I thought would bring me back. So I pay the extra ticket. Now, when I come back to Kampala, I come back determined to find this guy because I thought this guy is in the bus park and I knew I could find him. And if I could find him, I would get him to give me back my money. At that time, 40,000 was a lot of money. It is still a lot of money. Yeah. So while in the bus back, looking for that particular gentleman, because I could remember the face, one other guy tells me, Wekoya, you're just making, you're just wasting your time. This happens every single day. In there, I realized that there were many passengers who were failing to book buses on time, and they were falling in the hands of such guys. Therefore, they were losing money. So I said to myself, I think there has to be a better way people book bus tickets. The problem that Yuga Bus is addressing is the inconvenience that passengers have to go through in being able to book bus tickets. The whole inconvenience of you lining up at bus stations. The whole inconvenience of you having to go through the crazy traffic jam to be able to reach the bus station. The whole challenge of you having to move from bus to bus, trying to find out which bus has space and which one does not have space. The whole challenge of you having to ask yourself how much do they charge, which buses go to this particular destination. Each single day I see people asking, which bus goes to this town? And I'm like, okay, just check it out on your phone. So all that entire problem that people face in using buses is what Yuga Bus is addressing through our digital products. So Yuga Bus will display a screen where you're supposed to put in where you're coming from and where you are going. Now let's assume you're going to Kisoro. And then you have your ticket. So the time of set off, you just display this particular SMS at the bus and you travel. It's as simple as that. You don't have to line up at the bus station or do anything. Yuga Bus.
I use Yuga Bus. When I learned about Yuga Bus and the excellent benefits, I found out that Yuga Bus saves time. When I'm busy doing my work, I log into their app and book the ticket. By the time I arrive, I find that my seat is reserved and they give the exact time that I asked for. That is why I use Yuga Bus.
One of the most common things is that I am always wearing Yuga Bus from Monday to Monday, and I've done that for the last 2 years. Like if you met me on Kampala streets, you will find me either wearing a Yuga Bus t-shirt or a Yuga Bus shirt, no matter the day, whether it's a Sunday, Saturday, or whatever it is. But also, most importantly, Yuga Bus has taught me to care for the community. That if I care for the problems of other people, then I derive value out of caring for the community and also trying to ask myself, how best do I address the exact challenge that the community is facing, that the community I stay in. And also, most importantly, Yuga Bus has helped me understand how to handle my finances. Like, if you can carefully mobilize resources for the company and then also be able to allocate resources in the way they are supposed to be allocated, but also, most importantly, make sure that those resources don't go to waste, you realize that those lessons later on come from the company to my own personal life, and I'm a better human being.
The advice to someone who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to start something, is first to find that thing. You have to find it, you have to like it, and you have to find negative people to try to break you down. You have to go in a shaking environment. We call it piscine, like it's a pool. You go in a pool, when you are alive on the other side means you are good. So that's the first thing. You have to see something you believe in and which you can be shaked.
For someone who wants to become an entrepreneur, I think the best advice for them is to start. They just can't wait to have everything. You can't wait to have the right team, you can't wait to have the money, you can't wait to have the right idea. You just start. Eventually the idea modifies itself, the customers modify themselves, and even the right team comes on board when the problem you are solving is actually in existence.
It's important to have some experience when it comes to running a business. And I always say, volunteer. If you can't find a job, volunteer to work with somebody who you admire and learn how to run a business.
The second thing is to be ready to work, because nothing is magic here. Everyone who arrives somewhere is working day and night. You sleep when you have to sleep, not when you need or someone is telling you. You sleep when it's the time to sleep. Other time you really work hard because you are not alone. Your competitors are not sleeping. They have more resources. So have the passion, have that thing you want you like, then go for it. Go for it. Don't wait funds. Don't wait positive people to tell you. Just you have to believe and go for it.
Like I remember when we were just starting out, I used to think that the moment you have an idea, you're successful. Until when I realized that, oh my God, an idea is just 2% of the entire venture. And then I thought to myself, okay, if we have the mobile app, then we are done. Until I realized that, oh, the app is just 10% of the work. Then I used to think that, you know what, if you build a very great product, customers will respond. No, instead you find the customer, address their problem, and then they come on board eventually.
When the idea comes, please test it. And how do you test an idea? Test with your customers. Don't just build apps for the sake of building an app. An app, an application or technology is supposed to solve problems. It's not supposed to be the business. So you need to identify the problems that you're solving and then build technology to solve that problem.
We don't have too many occasions to give our story. We are in machines every time. We think the machine is it's the magic thing, you know. And that's the stars. You guys, you think camera is the magic thing. We think the computer can do everything.